Hi everyone, welcome to the Cloud Computing demo class and welcome to my channel that is AWS Learn AWS with Neeraj. So thanks for joining this live demo and we'll wait for 2 minutes so that our other friends can also join, and after that we will be starting with introduction to cloud computing, and we will also talk about how to create AWS free trial account so that we can do all our things practically. And I will also throw some light on the 1 week training course content, like what different topics we will be covering in this upcoming 1 week training program. Okay, so before we start, let me quickly check on the chat if you guys can hear me properly. So can someone please confirm if you can hear me properly? Okay, thanks for confirmation. I have got some confirmation. So before we start, right, and in the meantime, other people are joining, we will do a small poll so that we can get to know like what type of different profile people are joining this current today's demo. Like you are a student, or you may be already in IT but not working on AWS, right? Or you are just done with your studies and looking for IT job, right? So just give me a moment and I will be starting one poll, and then we can start. So give me a moment. Okay, I'm starting a poll in the YouTube chat, so you can go there and answer that. That will help me to drive today's introduction class, and you will also come to know like what different type of audience we have in today's demo class. Would like to thank everyone who have joined till now. So if someone has recently joined, there's a poll going on in the YouTube chat where you can respond to that chat. We are just getting some idea about the audience about today's demo, and we'll be proceeding after that. So I will end the poll shortly once everyone will vote for it. So you can quickly vote. Out of 20, I think only 13 people have voted till now. So the current result is like 64% of the attendees are done with their studies and looking for job. 21% are student. That means they are still in their studies. They are doing their BTech or BCA or MCA or MTech. And we have 14% experienced IT professional as well. Okay. So that is all about the poll. I am just ending the poll now. In between, we'll do many more polls to get some insights. Okay. So before we start with the demo class, Just give me a moment. Let me minimize my video and so that I can display the presentation. Just give me a moment. Okay, so I am opening the PPT, the presentation for today's demo class. So before we start, right, I would like to tell you that I usually more of a like showing practical person. I don't like displaying the and explaining on the PPT. But since today is the first demo class and because we are very new, I mean everyone may be very new to the AWS and cloud computing and everything. And most important is until or unless you do not have AWS trial account ready, you will not be able to do anything practically, right? That's why I will be covering few slides today, only few slides, hardly 4 or 5 slides, not like lot of slides. But tomorrow onwards, because tomorrow we will be starting with regular classes. So tomorrow there won't be any slide, everything will be fully practical. That means I will open my AWS trial account and every concept we will be exploring practically during our 1 hour of training. Okay, so before we start, let me quickly have a look at the chat in case anyone is having any doubts, then maybe we will clarify that. Okay, so feel free to ask your questions and I will try to make this session as interactive as possible. That means at any point of time, if you have any doubt, just post it on the YouTube chat and I will be answering that accordingly. Okay, so let me start with introduction of myself. So my name is Neeraj and I'm into IT industry from last more than 15 years. And if I talk about my training experience, because around 10 years back, around October 2013, I took my first online training. So you can say that I'm into online training from last 10 years. Earlier, I used to provide training on Hadoop and big data. And now from last few years, because nowadays I'm working on cloud, I'm working on AWS. So nowadays, along with my day-to-day work, along with my office project work, in my free time over the weekend or in my free time, I conduct online training on cloud computing, or you can say specifically for AWS. If I talk about my certification on AWS side, I am AWS certified professional solution architect. That's a like if we talk about the beginner level certification, then beginner level is AWS practitioner, and after that we have AWS data engineer, and after that we have AWS certified professional solution architect. So, and in between, I also got a chance to work on Google Cloud. So I am GCP certified professional cloud architect as well. Okay. So this is all about me. And I think we are good to start with the demo now. So before we proceed, before I start explaining the slides, before I start talking about cloud computing, in case you are having any doubts till now, or you may not have any doubt on the slides, but if you have any general question about cloud computing or anything, you can just post on the chat and I will answer that. Okay, it seems like there is no doubt. So we'll be starting with the agenda. The agenda for this class is what is cloud computing, cloud service providers, cloud service model, benefits of cloud computing, limitation of cloud computing, and the last and the most important one is AWS trial account creation. I will explain you how to create AWS trial account so that tomorrow onwards when I will show something practically on my trial account, the same thing you can try practically after the class, not during the class, because during the class you can concentrate on listening to me, and understanding the concept, what I am explaining and I am demonstrating. After the class, as per your free time, you can try doing the same thing practically on your system. Okay, so let's talk about what is cloud computing. So cloud computing is like a set of remote servers which are physically located somewhere on the earth. For example, if I talk about 5 to 10 years back, we used to work on our personal laptop. That means I have installed some software on my PC or on my laptop, and I'm working on that. That means my data, my software, my tool, everything is installed on my personal laptop. But nowadays everything is on the cloud. That means there is some server available to you. Basically, you will get access to that server, and not only server, there are many more services available. You can opt for it as per your requirement, and these server and services will made available to you. That means from your home, from your comfort of your office, from your personal laptop, you can connect to the server and you can work on that. So if the server is physically available in Japan or in USA or in Mumbai, does not mean that you have to be there. You can still work on those server from comfort of your personal laptop. That's ultimately cloud. Okay. So usually what I do is I take some simple example, some layman example so that we can understand the concept. So I will be taking some examples in the upcoming slides. Let me talk about few more features of cloud computing. It is on demand and self-service. Self-service means just like you go to some restaurant for a buffet, right? And there are a lot of variety of food over there. So you can go over there, take a round, have a look what different type of starter, what different type of salads, what different type of drinks, desserts are available, and you can put it on your plate as per your preference, as per your choice, and you can enjoy the food, right? Same thing is here. There are a lot of services available from the cloud, and you may not be looking for everything, right? You have some specific requirement, so you can customize your order as per your needs. You need one server or you need 100 server, you need one service or you need 5 services. And even while selecting the server, you may looking for 8 GB of RAM, or you are working on some gaming platform where you need like 128 GB of RAM. It completely up to you, and you can choose from there. There's a auto scaling of hardware as well. That means at any point of time, if the load is increasing on the server, suppose your client is sending some traffic, suppose you are running an e-commerce website, and on that e-commerce website there's a lot of traffic, people are visiting your website, they are buying some items and all, ultimately the load on your server is increasing. But behind the scene, cloud can help you to increase the capacity of your server so that your server can deal with those a lot of requests easily. Okay, it's cloud managed service. That means whatever I'm talking about, right? Like increasing the capacity of your system, adding more server, adding more RAM, all these things will be managed by cloud. That is not your headache. The only thing you have to do is pay as you go. That means whatever amount of time you are using the server or the service, you will be chargeable accordingly. If I take a layman example, I would say that you have subscribed to some service like internet service or electricity, right? The more units you will consume for electricity, the more bill you will get. It's completely as per your uses. But yes, in big industries and all, you can get some plans, and accordingly you may get some discounts. The same thing is here. If you have a big account, big company, there are a lot of like servers you are requesting for, then you can ask for some discount, and AWS has some discounted plan as well. That means if you are reserving some server for next 2 years or next 3 years, then they will give you some discount on the pricing part. Okay, so this is on very high level. I did not go into much detail. This is on very high level what is cloud computing. In upcoming slides we'll go into more details and we'll talk about it. In the meantime, I would like to stop here so that in case you are having any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, can someone please confirm me over the chat if there is any doubt? Otherwise, we'll be moving to the next slide. And once we cover 3, 4 slides, we'll talk about how to create AWS trial account as well. We'll do that also. So there is a comment from Uma Sri, and the comment is like, there is no doubt. Okay, that's good. Okay, let's move to the next slide. The next slide is about cloud service providers. When we say again and again, like cloud will provide to the server, they will increase the server capacity. So who are they? So there are majorly three cloud service providers. The main and the topmost one is AWS. That stands for Amazon Web Services. And after that we have Microsoft Azure, and we have Google Cloud as well. I'm not saying that these are the only three. There are many more small level cloud service provider, but these are the major one available in the market. And out of these three, the leading one is AWS, because it started its operations on cloud computing long back, around I would say 20 years back, when they started in the beginning. But on the other side, Microsoft and Google, they entered into cloud computing little late as compared to AWS. Okay, but concept wise, right, less or more it's same. That means if you are taking training on AWS and then you have to work on Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud, then the terminology will be little different. Otherwise, the concept will remain same. Out of these three, I have got opportunity to work upon Google Cloud and AWS, and I found that the concept is same, the mechanism same, but the terminology they call, AWS call it as EC2. Suppose EC2 means Elastic Compute Cloud. On the other side, Google Cloud call it as Compute Engine. Ultimately, the thing is same. The way they call it is little different. Okay, so these are three service providers, and now we will be moving to the next slide. But before that, let me conduct one small poll so that we can get some idea. So as you know that today is a demo class, and tomorrow onwards we will be starting with the regular classes, right? So for the regular classes, what would be the appropriate time so that it suits everyone's requirement? So yesterday I conducted a demo. Yesterday morning I conducted one demo and a few people joined over there. So I gave them two options. The same two options I will be giving to all of you, and accordingly we'll be starting the regular classes from tomorrow. Okay, so I'm starting a poll. Okay, so I'm just starting. Give me a moment. Just I'm typing it. So there are two timings: 6 a.m. IST Indian time and 6 p.m. Indian time. These two time my slot is available, because in daytime I'm also IT working professional, right? So you can choose out of these two, and accordingly we will be starting the regular classes from tomorrow. Okay, so I would request everyone to please vote, because based upon the majority we will be deciding our regular class timing. So from yesterday's demo, most of the people, around 80% of people opted for the evening time, 6 to 7 p.m. IST. And it seems like even in today's, people are more towards the 6 to 7 p.m. IST. As of now, 67% people opted for 6 to 7 p.m. IST, and remaining 33% opted for the morning time, 6 to 7 a.m. IST. So it seems like from yesterday's demo and today's demo, if I combine, right, the majority, around 70 to 80% people are interested in evening time, that is 6 to 7 p.m. IST. So most probably we will be going with that 6 to 7 p.m. IST timing. Okay, every day I will be creating a YouTube link for live class, and I will be posting that link in the WhatsApp group. I hope everyone has joined my WhatsApp group, and we'll be posting all the required details in that WhatsApp group. Okay, so I'm ending the poll. I think out of 20, I have received around 13 votes. If anyone is still left, you can still vote. Otherwise, we'll be ending the poll and coming back to the slides. Okay, so we'll be going with the 6 to 7 p.m. IST time. That's what majority of people are preferring. Okay, so I'm coming back on the slides, and in the meantime, in case you are having any doubts, you can ask me. So whenever I take the classes, right, I always say that there is no small question or there is no silly question. If you have anything, because you may be in very initial level of your career, you might not have got opportunity to work on cloud. That means you are completely blank about AWS. That's completely possible and that's completely normal. If you are in just in your studies, that means you may not have idea about cloud computing. Even that is absolutely fine, because my training program will be completely from basics. We'll start from very zero level. Okay, so in case you are having any doubt till these two slides, you can just post on the chat and I will be answering that. Okay, it seems like there is no doubt, so I'm going back to the PPT. Okay, so the next is cloud service model. So whenever I talk something about technical stuff, right, I always try to explain in a simpler way using some layman example so that we understand the concept. My purpose is not to confuse you with lot of technical terms. My purpose is to make it easy for you to understand the concept. So let's take an example that would help you to understand the concept more easily. Suppose you are a group of 5 friends and you are planning a trip for Goa. It's a 5 days trip, for example. As soon as you will reach Goa, you would need some car to roam around. Now there are two options. Either you can buy a car by paying like 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs, something, right? But is that a good idea? Just for 5 days in a different city, if I buy a car, that's definitely not a good idea, because I don't need the car over there for long term. And I don't want to get into the complication of buying the car and all. Rather, what I would do is I would like to take the car on rent. And in that case, right, I don't have any any headache, because suppose the car is breakdown or there is any other issue, right, I can simply contact the renting company, the car renting company, and they will most probably replace my car. They will provide me the another car which we can continue our trip, and they will take care of all the maintenance related things, right? Same thing is here. When you are doing a project and you are aware that the duration of the project is like hardly few months, and only for those few months you do not want to spend a lot of money on the hardware. And that makes sense, right? Because if my project is over after 2 months, then what I will do with hundreds of servers? There are no use for me. In that case, what we can do is cloud service provider, they will provide you the server on rent, and it's all about your requirement. If you need the server only for 1 month, it's okay, they will give it to you. And moreover, they won't be charging for the entire month. They will be charging only for your uses. That means even in that 1 month, suppose you are using your server only 2 hours a day, so you will be chargeable only for those 2 hours, not for the entire 24 by 7. Now coming to this diagram, you may be thinking how this diagram fits into our example of this Goa trip and all that stuff, right? The bottom layer, if you see, it is IaaS, that means infrastructure as a service. As the name indicates, cloud service provider is providing you the infrastructure. Infrastructure means servers, networking, networking devices, routers, storage devices, and many more things. They are providing the infrastructure as a service. That means you don't need to buy it, you just take it on rent, and as soon as you are done with your project, you can just hand over it back. But at the same time, you may say that along with the hardware, I need some services also. If I compare with that car renting company, I would say that you are a group of 5 friends, but maybe you say that we don't know how to drive in a new city or how to drive in a hill station. So you can request the car renting company that along with the car we need the driver also, and definitely you have to pay for it, right? Same thing is here. With cloud, you are saying that along with the server, I need some services on that server. I need some platform where I can do my development. Then the cloud service provider will be charging you for the server as well as for the service they will provide. But you can customize completely. So the second layer is known as platform as a service. Why we call it as a platform? Because they will provide us a platform where we can do our development. If you are from an IT company, if you are a part of a development team, that means on that server you will be doing some development activity every day. But for doing the development, you need some tool, you need some platform where you can write your code, when you can test your code, you can debug your code. For that one, we need platform. But again, they will provide it as a service and they will be charging as per your uses. You can go for 1 month license, 12 months license, and there can be many more plans which you can opt for. And on top of that, software as a service. That means the end product is ready as a service. For example, earlier we used to install some software on our suppose on our laptop, but now the software itself is directly available on the cloud. For example, Adobe Photoshop. So you install Adobe Photoshop on your laptop and then you edit your photos, right? But at the same time, nowadays, there are many websites where you can simply upload your photo on the portal and you can do entire editing on the portal itself. And once it's done, you can download your photo. That means entire processing is happening on the cloud. Your system is not involved. Your system is only involved because you have opened the browser. So only that browsing part you are doing. But actual processing is happening on the cloud. So the end product, whether it's a Gmail or it's a Google Drive or I would say Netflix, right? You don't need to install anything. You open the Netflix on the browser because the end product for the end user is directly available on the browser. You open it, you log in into it, and you can enjoy your favorite movie. That means hardware wherever Netflix is running, along with that service is running, that is completely on the cloud. So the point is that you can opt for either infrastructure as a service, or you say that along with infra, I need the platform also, or you say that along with platform, I need the software also. That is completely in your hands. That's completely under your control. Okay, so you don't need to remember these terms like, but in short they call it as uh, this is known as PaaS and SaaS, but the full form you can see that software as a service and platform as a service. Sometimes few companies, right, they have their own development tool. So what they will do is they will ask the cloud service provider that you just provide the infrastructure. As far as the development tool is there, we have our own tool and we will use it. We will install on that server and that's fine. That you can do. But if you say that, okay, server is okay, but along with server, I need some development software. Also, I need a database because my application is interacting with database. So again, cloud is not only server, not only infrastructure. They can even provide you the services, and services includes a lot of variety: data analytics, machine learning, chat GPT, and dealing with CSV files, Spark, Hadoop, big data, and there can be many more stuff. Maybe once I will show my trial account because my trial account is ready. I will show that in few minutes. Then you will get more idea about AWS services. Okay, so before we proceed, I would like to have a quick look at the chat so that I can reply to your questions. So Aviator is saying that will you explain those 2 slides as a short notes? So my friend, because there are a lot of people and I don't want to waste everyone's time, but this recording will be available even after the live training is over. This training will be available under my channel. From there, you can easily watch this recording again. I hope that will help you. Okay. There is another question from Lokesh. We want to pay any kind of course fee in future classes, sir. No, this is 1 week training program, and in this 1 week, what different topics I will be covering, that I will show you. And this 1 week training is completely free of cost. Okay. Next question is, can you give real example of PAS and IaaS? Yes, definitely we can do that. So starting with IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Very simple. You requested for a server which has 32 GB of RAM and there are 2 terabyte of storage because you are running an e-commerce website. So you requested for infrastructure. That is an example of IaaS. And another example, you're asking for PaaS, platform as a service. So in AWS, I will show you one service, that is Cloud9. What is it, Cloud9? Cloud9 is a development environment for the developers, and that is available on the AWS infrastructure. That means you don't need to install anything on your laptop. Suppose you are working on a Java project, Python project, Node.js, something you need, right? All those commonly used softwares are pre-installed on that particular environment. That means you can get started within 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, your Cloud9 environment will be ready and you are ready to do your development work. That is because they are providing you a platform as a service, and on that platform, you can like easily do your development work. Okay. So I think that answer your question, Sri. There is another question from Aviator team. The question is, 1 week course is enough for understanding AWS? Definitely, like it will give you basic idea and it will get you started. After that, if you want to go for paid training, I can guide you for that. In case you want to go through my previous videos, because I am providing training for US folks as well, because I have some tie up with few training companies and they get few Indian folks who are currently in US, so they need the training, right? So in past, the last batch I conducted is in June. So, and the July batch is going on because I have 6 week training program. So the June batch recordings are available on my channel. You can watch them as per your convenience. But this 1 week training will be live. I will be explaining. You can ask your doubts and I will be showing everything practically. Okay. I hope that answer your question. Mohan Kumar is asking, what is the course fee for 6 weeks course, sir? So for US folks, I charge like 200 US dollar. That is like something around 16,000. But since we have most of the students and most of the freshers who are looking for job in the IT industry, I charge 6,000 rupees for 6 week training program. Okay. But I would say don't be hurry for that. Try to attend few classes in the next week. If you feel that you need that 6 week of paid training, you are most welcome to join that. First attend this 1 week of training program, and after that you all will be in a better position to decide whether you want to explore by yourself or you want to go for a paid training. Okay. uh, there's another question that, for getting job, how many days took to understand and any job opportunity? I would say on average 2 months you would need. 2 months for learning AWS and doing the things practically on your free trial account. After 2 months of practice, you should be good for trying your luck for the interviews. And if you have practical knowledge, if you have done hands-on, you should be able to face the interview and you should get a job, because cloud computing is like on one boom. So I will show you one thing because someone asked about the scope of the job, right? I will show you. So if go to Google and if I say scope for cloud computing, let's see what it will say. So it says that the scope of cloud computing is very bright. According to a report, the cloud computing market in India is 2 billion and expected to grow with an annual growth rate of 30%. You can say this one. And this is not my slide or something. This is directly from Google. Because after COVID, right, many companies are investing in India. They are building their data center, their cloud computing team within India only. So if I talk about Out of India, definitely there is no doubt there is a bright future. But even in India nowadays and in upcoming years, the future for cloud computing is quite bright. Okay, if we search like top trending jobs in IT, you can say that data science. Data science is again about you can say your analyzing your data. You can say information technology over there, and in IT you will find like all about cloud computing. It's not always about AWS, but it can be AWS, it can be Azure, or it can be Google Cloud. But out of these three, if you are going for an interview, 70 to 80% chances are there for AWS, because AWS is leading the cloud computing market. Okay, I hope I answer your questions. Let me have a quick look at the chat again. So he's asking job opportunity or job guarantee. So I'm not a like a job providing agency. I'm a working professional. That's my like full-time job. I'm also doing a job only. Okay. But I just share my knowledge through online training in my free time. So I can help you, I can guide you, and I have some contacts with some agencies. I can redirect you to those agencies. Those agencies can help you to find a job. But at the end of the day, the conclusion is you should have theoretical knowledge on the cloud, and you should have practical exposure in the sense, don't only go through the slides and don't only just look at the videos. You should try your hands on your trial account, do something practically, so that you can get the idea on that, so that when you are going for an interview you are not blank about it. If you have around 2 months of like practical experience, not a job experience, but if you are doing something practically on AWS trial account, I think you should be good for going for the interviews. Okay, so Umasri is saying that will the certification provided for paid training? Yeah, I can provide the certification, but if you are looking for AWS certified, that means you have to go with the AWS test, because you have to register for it. For the online test, they have online facility, and there are offline centers available in most of the big cities in India, like Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mumbai, Pune. There you can go and you can appear for the certification test, and you can get AWS certified as well. But from my side, if you will complete the training, I can provide the certificate. Okay, I think we have taken a lot of doubts. I am coming back to the slide. Just give me a moment. Okay, so we'll be moving to the next slide now, and we'll be talking about benefits of cloud computing. Since we are talking about cloud computing, there should be some benefit, right? Because then only companies, then only the industry is moving towards the cloud computing. So the first benefit is cost saving, because if you are planning to start a project, and if you are in the need of 100 server, you don't need to buy them upfront. Rather, you go with cloud service provider, and they will provide you the server as per your preferred configuration and as per your requirement. Like you need for 1 month, you need for 3 years, and all that stuff. And you have to just pay as per your uses. So if you ask for a server, they will provide a dedicated server to you. And if you will keep that server in stopped state, that will not be chargeable to you. Although that still holds your data. For example, some files are available on your laptop, but your laptop is shut down. The files are still available there. The files are still safe, right? As soon as you will start your laptop, switch on your laptop, you can see your files again. Same thing is here. If you keep your server running, then only it will be chargeable to you. Chargeable to the companies, I mean, because we will go with the free trial version that is available for 1 year. That means we can do all of our practicals without paying anything. That would be completely free of cost. Okay. The next benefit is scalability and flexibility. Scalability means you can scale up or scale down at any point of time. In the beginning, you start with a small server, And later on, as and when you feel that your capacity is increasing, your clients are increasing, the traffic on your website is increasing, you can request for upgrading your hardware, upscaling your capacity. That can be done. Usually, suppose there is a e-commerce website, Flipkart, or you can say Snapdeal or Amazon or any other company, right? Whenever they are coming up with some sale, right? Independence Day sale, New Year sale, Diwali sale. So they are expecting a lot of traffic for those sale period, 5 days sale, 4 days sale, right? Only for those 4 5 days, if they will buy the hardware, instead of 50 server, I need 200 server, because I am expecting around 4 to 5 times of traffic on my website. So what they will do, they will request the cloud service provider to provide 200 server only for those 4 days, and cloud service provider will do that because they will be providing the service and they will be charging it accordingly. So that's very convenient and very easy to scale up and scale down as per your requirement. Okay. The next is reliability. When you are dependent upon the cloud, so they will take care of your data very diligently. Suppose you have stored some data on the remote server and unfortunately the server is down. What you will do? Because your entire data is not on your personal laptop now. The entire data you have put on the cloud, but unfortunately that server is down. Because in the building where the server was placed, there was some natural calamity, some flood or some war or anything, right? But that is completely cloud service provider responsibility. And what they do is, to avoid such circumstances, they maintain the data, the duplicate copy of data across different geographical location. That means the same copy of data is available in Mumbai, and the duplicate copy of data is available in Japan, and third copy is available in US also. So that if any natural calamity or under any circumstances, if any of data center is down, they can still provide you the data from a different location. And that's completely taken care by the cloud. It's not your concern, it's their concern. Okay. And along with that, all the maintenance, if they need to apply a security patch to the server, they need to protect the server like a physical security. They also need to protect your data with the cyber attack. These all these things they will be taking care. It's not your concern. Okay. Providing the power supply to the data center, that's not your concern. They will be providing all this facility. So these are the different benefits of cloud computing. Again, I would say you don't need to remember it. If you're going to an interview, no one will ask like, can you tell me 4 benefits of cloud computing? And if they tell, then you should know. I mean, you don't have to put the exact words or exact lines, but you should explain them, that why industry is moving towards cloud. What are the benefits? But at the same time, they can ask you, is there only benefits? There is no limit, there is no limitation, there is no challenge with the cloud computing. It may be possible, right? Because in this world, there is nothing which has only benefits. There can be some challenge, there can be some limitations. So we'll talk about those limitations as well. But before that, if you are having any doubts, you can just post on the chat and I would be happy to answer that. Okay, in the meantime, let's create a quick poll because as per my family members, right, they feel that I speaks very fast. So I just want to know from your side, is my teaching speed is okay or you feel it like a fast or slow? So I am just starting a quick poll. So you can respond to the poll. This just a like a just for fun you can say. At least I would come to know whether I am speaking fast or shall I go a little slower or I am going like as per normal. Will will forward it accordingly. So till now I have got around 5 votes and all 5 people are saying that my teaching speed is normal. Okay, that's good. That's not slow. That's not fast. Okay, that's good. Okay, so I'm coming back. to the slides and we'll be talking about limitation of cloud computing. As I was saying that there is nothing in this world which has only benefits. There are some limitations as well. The very first and the most important limitation is completely dependent on internet. That can be challenging at some time. If I talk about 5 to 10 years back, we used to work on our personal laptop. And if internet is down means we will not be able to check our emails or we are not able to send an email. Apart from that, your daily development activity, your project work, you can still continue on your laptop. But that is not the case nowadays because every development, every single activity we are doing on the cloud. And if internet is down means you cannot reach your server. And if you cannot reach your server, you can't do anything, right? So this is very unlikely nowadays, the internet, but still at any point of time, if your services are down for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, that means your team cannot work during that time. Okay. The next is leakage of sensitive information. This is very important concern because if suppose there is a bank, there is a HDFC Bank, ICICI, SBI, or even foreign banks, US Bank and all, right? If they will plan to migrate their projects on the cloud, there's a risk because they are handing over their customer critical data to someone, right? It's like I'm handing over some secret to my friend expecting that he or she will not reveal to anyone, but now it's all about trust, right? Or if I'm giving money to my friend expecting that he will return back to me, but in case he's not returning, then it can be a problem for me. Same thing is here. If you are going with the cloud, that means your entire data will be available on the cloud. It all depends how much trust you have on your cloud service provider. So these cloud service provider are very good in the security actually. They have physical security, they have data security, they have cyber security, and protecting your data from cyber attacks, and many more services are there, right? But still, what banks do is nowadays what banks do, they migrate partial things. They will say, okay, out of my 10 different application or 10 different projects, these three projects are very critical. They contains customer information, their bank balance, and much more personal detail, right? Which we cannot take a risk to put the data on the cloud. But yes, the remaining 7 applications are not that critical because they do not contain the bank balance and all. They contain some other type of details, and those can be put on the cloud. So nowadays, every cloud service provider, whether it is AWS or Google Cloud or Azure, they are coming with hybrid approach. That means they are asking the client that whatever application you want to keep on premise means within your building, within your office, under your control, you keep those services with you, and the remaining services which you are comfortable migrating to the cloud, those you can provide to us. We will manage your data, we will analyze your data, we will help you to get some useful insights from your data, because bank has the history from last many years and they have the profiles for the customer. They do some data analytics, machine learning, lot of stuff to customize the plans. And nowadays you suppose you are searching for a flight, right? But you just searching, you did not book it. After 5 minutes you are going to Instagram and you notice that now they are showing you the advertisement for the flight booking. You are opening Facebook, you are opening any website, everywhere you are seeing the ad of that flight booking. That is all about analytics. That's happening by analyzing your data on lot of server, machine learning, cloud computing, and all that stuff. Okay, so these are few limitations. And the last one is monopoly of service provider. If you are dependent on any service provider and only that service provider is providing that service, then they can change the price. Basically they will increase the price, not decrease. They can increase the price at any point of time and you have to pay for it. I am telling you from my project experience. We are using one tool, and you won't believe the service provider is increasing the cost every few months. Every 4 months, every 6 months, we will receive an email that there will be the revision on the cost, and they are charging hourly basis. That means you cannot buy unlimited plan or something. If you are running their tool for 8 hours a day, they will be charging for 8 hours. If you're using 24 by 7, they will be charging it accordingly. And every 6 months, they are increasing the price. So that happens in real life also, right? If you're dependent upon only one party, one service provider, ultimately you will be ending up with a dependency on that one, and then they can increase the price at any point of time. Okay, so these are few limitations. If compare with benefits, I think limitations are very limited, and there are a lot of benefits of using like cloud computing. Okay, anyone would like to add any other limitation here, or if you have any other point which can be useful for other people as well, so you can say that. Let me quickly end the poll. 80%, 78% people are saying my speed is normal, and remaining 22% are feeling that my speed is slow. So I understand that, because today is the demo class. I am conducting some polls in between, and since it's a demo class, people are joining a little bit here and there late or something, right? But tomorrow onwards we'll not be conducting these. I mean, it would be more faster, because we'll try to cover some technical stuff during our 1 hour of training. Okay, so I'm ending the poll now, and let me look at the questions. Can we set up our own trial account? Will you show the same today? Yes, absolutely, Bala. Just wait for 5 more minutes, and within 5 minutes, I will show you how to create your AWS trial account. Okay, that means everyone, all of you, will have your AWS trial account ready before tomorrow's class. Then only you will be able to do the things practically. I'm telling you, if you are just watching the videos, if you are just going through the slides, it looks very easy. When I will show something practically on my trial account, you will feel it's very easy. It's nothing. But when you will do it with your hands on your trial account, you will actually understand the concept. You will understand what are the challenges, how to fix them, how to deal with the errors. If any red error is coming, don't be afraid. Look at the error message. Try to understand what the issue is and how to fix it. All these things I will be exploring during our next 1 week of training program. Okay, I hope I answered your question, Bala. Any other doubt from anyone? You can just paste it in the chat. Okay, without wasting any time, I'm quickly moving towards the next slide. And as I said, the next slide is about AWS trial account creation. Okay, so how to create AWS trial account? What you need to do is you open the Google. Okay, and in the Google you type AWS free trial account. The very first website you will get, right? Just click on that, and it will give you the option to create your trial account. As you can see here, create a free account. But before creating the free account, I would say you go through this link, learn more about building web apps. Not exactly this, actually. Just hold on, there was some links yesterday. You can see this one, free tier offer details. So this one is 12 months free. So this trial account you will get for 12 months, and you can see here 750 hours per month of the remote server. That's quite good actually. That means if you keep one server running even for 24 hours a day, in 1 month approximately it would be 720 hours, right? That is still under our limit, but that is the total limit. That means if you run multiple servers and you run all the servers all the day 24 by 7, that can cost you something, but that's not required. For our learning purpose, for our training purpose, you don't need multiple server first of all, and you don't need to run it 24 by 7. After 1 hour of training, you would need one more hour for doing those things practically. So hardly your server will be running for 1 or 2 hours. That's all. That would be under free tier. Okay, so I'm going back and I will click on create the free account. Okay, so for creating the free account, what it will ask is, it will ask for your email address, and it will ask for AWS account name. This account name you can provide anything, it's up to you, but I will tell you the purpose. The purpose is, sometime you are dealing with multiple AWS accounts. In my project we have three different environment: development environment, testing environment, and production environment. That means we have three different AWS accounts. Now the question is, how do I identify? Although every AWS account has a unique 12-digit number, but remembering the 12-digit number is difficult, right? Just like we have 50 friends, we cannot remember their phone number, but yes, we can remember their names. And in our phone, we save their name with their phone number, right? Same thing is here. You can provide some name. So I would say, suppose our project name is, mm, okay, I would say US Bank, just for an example. Okay, suppose I'm working for US Bank and we are creating the AWS account for US Bank project. So I would say US Bank hyphen dev. That's my development account. Similarly, I can create another account for my testing purpose, for my production purpose as well. Okay, so once you will provide your email address, and once you click on verify email address, you will receive an email in your inbox which you can check. Click on the verification link, and after that, another important step is you have to provide your credit or debit card details. You may be thinking like, this is a free account, so why do we need to provide that? That's very important question. And to answer that, this is only for verification purpose. Because suppose someone is blindly launching 50 servers and every server is having huge configuration like 128 GB of RAM, 4 terabytes of hard drive. That means you are crossing the free limit, right? So for the safer side and mainly for the verification purpose, AWS is asking you to provide the credit card or debit card details, and they will be charging only 2 rupees temporarily. Even those 2 rupees will be refunded back after 3 to 5 days. So if you look at this slide, which is a screenshot taken when I created my trial account in June, this June only, June 2023. You can see this. We will not charge for usage below AWS free tier limits. That means as far as you are using AWS services within limit, and the limit is actually quite high. If you do your practice even every day few hours, you cannot cross that limit. I'm telling you, I am conducting training every month, still I am not able to cross that limit. You will be crossing the limit only when you are working for your office project. For training purpose, for learning purpose, you will not be crossing that limit. Okay, so you can provide your credit card or debit card, and you can see this one. We temporarily hold INR 2 rupees as a pending transaction for 3 to 5 days to verify your identity. So I have created these type of trial account many times because I'm into AWS from last 5 to 6 years, and every year I create a trial account because whenever I create the trial account, it's valid for 1 year. After 1 year, you won't be able to use it, or if you continue, it will be chargeable. So what I do is every year I create one more trial account, and you can use the new trial account. The same thing you can do. You may not need it for every year, but just for now learning purpose, training purpose, you can very easily create your trial account. Okay, so that's all about how to create trial account. And since my trial account is already available, I will show you how does it work. Okay, so let me open my account, and after that I will take your doubts in case you have any doubts. Okay, so there are two type of users. One is root user. The email address you use to create your trial account, that's your root user, because that root user has full privilege, full access. It can do anything. He or she can even delete the services, launch server, anything. But along with the root user, we have the concept of IAM user as well, and that I will explain in tomorrow's class. As of now, as for today, let me quickly log in into my AWS account. So I'm clicking on next. I will enter my password, and it's asking for one thing which you can see. It is nothing but MFA code. So just like in Gmail, right? Nowadays in Gmail, when you log in, along with the password, you may be like providing the OTP just for additional security, right? Same thing is here. Even for my AWS account, I have enabled the additional security, and I have to enter the OTP. So I'm entering it. Just give me a moment. 128122. Okay, so I'm able to log in into my account, my AWS account, and I will quickly show you what different type of services are available on very high level. Will not go into detail because we are anyway, we have already crossed 1 hour of time. I would like to finish this today's session as at the earliest. Okay, so you can click on services, and on the left side you can see that there are different categories. We have analytics, we have application integration, we have blockchain, business application, compute, containers, database, developer tools, game development, internet things, internet of things, machine learning, and many more stuff. Okay, so you can search here for any service. I was talking about that remote server, right? The remote server in AWS terminology, it is known as EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. Okay, so Elastic Compute Cloud, I will search. You can just type EC2. EC2 will appear here, as you can see, and you can also see that it is saying virtual server in the cloud. You can see that. So how to launch one server, that we'll talk about in the next week, most probably day after tomorrow. Okay. And similarly, many services are there. If you talk about storage service, you can search for S3. S3 is a storage service, which I will be explaining in detail in tomorrow's class. Okay. So you can see this one, scalable storage in the cloud. Scalable means you can keep on adding your data, it will keep on scaling. You can put as much of data in the cloud, it is capable of handling large amount of data as well. That's why they are calling it as scalable storage. Okay, so this is all about how to create trial account, how to log in into your account. And one more important thing is, on the right side you will see your name. Click on that and click on billing dashboard. This is very important thing. On the billing dashboard, if you will come on the left side and if you will come down, there is the option billing preference. You can click on billing preference. Why I am showing this thing to you is that in case you are approaching your free usage limit, I'm not saying crossing, approaching. That means apart from 100 limit, 100%, right? Suppose you have already consumed 80% of the limit, so AWS will send you an email to inform you, to alert you that you are about to cross the limit, so that you can have a look at your usage. You can, if any unnecessary server is running which is not in your knowledge, suppose you started some server and you forgot it, so you will come to know and you can stop that service to avoid any additional cost to your card. So this entire 1 year of AWS trial account is free of cost. But yes, at the same time, we have to be very careful. So there is no harm in enabling these alerts, so that unfortunately, by any reason, if there is any service running and which is crossing the limit or which is about to cross the limit, at least we will be getting the email, and accordingly we can take some decision. We can take some action on that. Okay. So friends, with this one, I'm done with introduction to cloud computing, as well as how to create AWS trial account. In case you are having any doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, I will be showing you the detailed course content, which we will be covering in this 1 week of training program. Okay. So give me a moment. I will be opening the PDF. Okay, so this is the detailed course content, and I hope it's visible to all of you. So I will explain about this. So this is, you can see that. Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. I think I have opened the wrong one. Okay, so this is the course content for 1 week. So the first section, right, introduction to cloud computing, we have already talked about it. So introduction to cloud computing, introduction to AWS, creating free trial account, and creating billing alerts, and brief introduction to AWS services. This first section we have already covered today. That means out of 7 day of training program, this part is already done. Tomorrow we'll be covering these two topics: IAM, IAM that is Identity Access Management, and S3 that is about the storage service in AWS. These two services I will be covering in tomorrow's class. So tomorrow there won't be any PPT, there won't be any slide. This will be completely about showing the things practically on my trial account. Okay, after that the next day, Tuesday, we'll talk about EC2. That's nothing but your elastic compute cloud, that is a remote server. Okay, so on a high level there will be lambda function which we will be covering, and nothing theoretical, everything will be practical only. There's a database, we'll talk about crawler, glue, athena, redshift, and dynamodb. We'll talk about CloudWatch, Secret Manager, SNS, that stands for Simple Notification Service, and SQS, that stands for Simple Queue Service. Okay. After that, Python will talk about setting up Cloud9 environment. Someone was asking like, what is the example of PaaS, Platform as a Service, right? So Cloud9 is a example of PaaS, and we will be using Cloud9 for doing our development. I will explain you how to write the code, how to test your code, and all that stuff. And we'll also talk about PySpark, how to create a data frame with a CSV file, how to do selecting, filtering the data, grouping the data, how to read the data, how to write the output data into a file. Okay, so this is the detailed training program. These are different services available within AWS. So these names, right? It's a service. CloudWatch is a service. Secret Manager is a service. Redshift is a service. Athena is a service. We'll talk about, and not only talking, I will be showing these things practically during our classes. Okay, so this is the detailed course content. In case you are having any doubt, let me quickly check on the YouTube chat. Okay, I'm just starting a small poll just to find out whether you found this training interesting or like what. So friends, I'm starting a poll. You can just respond to that, so that we'll come to know like how did you feel it about today's class. If you have any feedback, I can, if you feel like uh, training, I mean speed is more or speed is less, or you want more explanation or more doubt clearing or more practical stuff, right, we can do it accordingly. Okay, so friends, I am done from my side. I have talked about introduction to cloud computing. We also talked about like how to create the AWS trial account, and we also talked about the detailed course content for this 1 week training program. So I'm done from my side. In case you are having any doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, I will be creating a new link for tomorrow's regular class, and I will be posting that link in the WhatsApp group so that you can attend the live classes. The timing would be, let me put in the chat. So regular classes will start from tomorrow, and timing would be 6 to 7 p.m. IST, because that's the preferred time for most of the attendees. So we'll go with that timing. Okay. Anyone is having any doubt? Just let me know. Okay, friends, thanks for joining the live demo and thanks for making it interactive. I appreciate that you asked few questions and this made the session interactive. I hope you enjoyed today's session and I hope you learned something from today's session. At least you got some basic idea like what cloud computing is all about. So thanks for joining. Thank you.